Town Council approves a problem property ordinance, votes on extending Finance Director Mark Milne's contract, and takes steps to provide individuals with disabilities access to town beaches. All this and more on this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Sarah Mantle. Town Council made headway with one of its problem property ordinances Thursday night. The ordinance in question relates to building and property maintenance. The discussion among councilors was lively.
I continue to believe that this particular ordinance casts too wide of a net, is too general and too imposing. And I prefer to narrow the focus on abandoned, foreclosed, and vacant properties, and will be supporting that ordinance as it moves through the system rather than these. So, thank you.
Councilor Barden, or excuse me, Jocham.
I have to agree with the councilor to my left. I've spoken to people in my precinct, and actually I think some of the village civic associations were supportive of the previous items that we're working on, and there was sort of a mixed reaction to this. I'm concerned about a couple of things. First of all, that we already have a lot of this on the books, and we have a health department that's, to be enforcing these codes. And I'm just concerned that we are going a little too far when it comes to personal property and people's homes. I think that if people are having problems with some of the issues that are here, it's not because they're lazy or they don't care. It's often because of money, and I don't want to make things any harder. So I am going to not be supporting this one, but I do believe there's a problem with abandoned and foreclosed properties.
Councilor Hersey.
Thank you. As you know, I was strongly against the amending of the code as it was previously written. However, I think you've seen a bunch of councilors switch positions, and I'm going to switch positions tonight in the sense that I think this is a significant compromise on everyone's part. And we passed zoning ordinance and things like that because it was supposedly the will of the people. Well, the will of the Hyannis people and Osterville and everyone else has spoken on numerous occasions. And the fact that it has a sunset clause, that it's only going to be in effect for a year and a half, and that we're going to get a chance to reevaluate it, and it has been significantly watered down. I think it needs to be given a chance and to see where it goes. And if it needs to be built up, it can be built up. If it needs to be taken down, it can be taken down. But something needs to be done, and I think this is a reasonable start, and I'll be supporting it. Thank you.
Councilor Cullum.
Yes, I've supported it really from the get-go, although I would have tweaked the initial document a bit. But this, to me, answers the particular questions that the health department needed answered. And I know, Milt, it's not the original, but I believe that the sunset clause, like Councilor Hersey said, is a catch-all. It will prevent misuse and unintended consequences, which is one of the things that we fear the most. I'll support this tonight, and I ask the other councilors to take a look around their neighborhoods and see if it's not a fair way, at least for a year and a half, to see if we can rein things in a little bit. I do believe it's also a two-pronged problem, and I'm happy that Councillor Kennedy's helping with the foreclosed, abandoned, and vacant properties, because they're really two different animals that need to be handled differently. So I think that the Hyannis Civic Association efforts will be mirrored in both of these ordinances. So thank you.
Ultimately, the ordinance passed. 8 councilors voted for the ordinance and 4 councilors voted against. The council also voted to accept 3 wheelchairs from Smile Mass. Those wheelchairs will provide beach access for individuals with disabilities.
I just want to recognize the Recreation Department and the Disability Commission for their support of Smile, and of course your efforts in bringing this, putting this all together. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and we really have to thank Smile Mass because they're really trying to do this Cape-wide, but Barnstable has been very special to them. Each of these chairs costs $5,000, so we're very grateful for their support.
And Smile is a organization, a charitable organization run by 2 mothers.
Right.
With
It stands for
children with
Small
disabilities.
Miracles in Life Exist.
Yep.
Town Manager Tom Lynch requested the council extend Finance Director Mark Milne's contract until 2018. Milne's contract was set to expire in 2015.
Each year at the end of the fiscal year, and it's part of the contract requirement, I do an evaluation, responsible for an evaluation of the finance director. And this year, at the conclusion of this fiscal year 2013, I did conduct a performance evaluation. I stated first with him that I thought we had met the council's goal of providing a viable plan for meeting the operation and capital needs of our town with a balanced budget. And I think you know the strong record that the finance director and position the finance director has put us in regarding, AAA bond rating and the awards that we've run for distinguished budget presentation and for the excellence in financial reporting. I then went on to, and I cited his performance in those areas. I then went on to use the Barnstable's performance appraisal system, which we use for managers, and rated him in 4 different areas: leadership, planning and organization, communication, and problem solving. And I'll take a sentence from each of those areas, if you'll indulge me. I said that his budget planning shows that he can establish a clear set of directions, set objectives, and mobilize the people to meet those objectives. His leadership ability includes the skills of delegating responsibility, motivating employees, and establishing the trust and respect of employees. He also is able to set priorities and has strong planning and organizational skills. He's able to anticipate financial problems and provides Mark and me and the rest of our team with the needed information to make the policy decisions to put together operating capital budgets. Also, as I think evidenced by his budget presentations before the town council and community groups, he evidences very strong communication skills. And I put in there something that I've heard from almost each of you, and that is that councils consistently tell me that your budget presentations before the council are clear and that you digest complex financial matters in a manner that is understandable to all. I believe he also does that with the Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee and utilizes their expertise in the development of our annual capital and operating budget. And finally, regarding his problem solving and decision making, I think his ability to analyze information and develop effective solutions assists the functioning of our town on a daily basis. And I really think that if you look at other communities as to the role their finance director plays, it's often just around dollars and cents and numbers. And I think with Mr. Milne, we've gotten someone that I know I rely on very heavily to assist in the policy development of a lot of of the issues that come before us. So I think he's really redefined that role, and I think you have been able to observe that in the way that he works both with the schools and the municipal budget. Finally, I point out that we do set goals at the end of the year, and we will be looking at in FY 15, we're going to be FY15, we're going to be looking at the format of our budget presentation. We'll be looking at our performance management system, and we're also going to create a group that's going to be looking at to develop a property management structure. So I had a very positive evaluation of Mr. Milne. I think that to be able to secure his services till 2018 is in the best interest of our community, and I would urge that you authorize me to sign a contract with him.
The council unanimously voted to approve the contract extension. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.